So Dragon Age: The Veilguard. So
Did
right
you pick
off.
this up, Zach?
Nope, finishing Metaphor.
Okay, so you don't have it just picked up ready to go. Just knock out
How
Metaphor first.
far have you played?
So I've just now picked up my 4th companion, Lucanus. I'm probably only like 8 hours in or so. I've been kind of off and on being able to play between Thursday, yesterday, and today. Right off the top,
Does the combat get better?
the combat's fun. Like
It is a press X to win button. You press X, and then occasionally you use an ability.
you don't. It's not occasionally.
That's how it's been since Dragon Age 2.
You don't. There's a lot of combos that you can do for stuff because,
What class are you playing?
I'm playing Rogue.
Okay, I play a warrior.
Oh, you picked it up.
I play a
Yeah, of course he picked it up because he knows how the combat feels.
I thought he's going based off articles because
Well, you're
everyone's
playing-
bitching about the combat.
You're playing warrior.
It's not the most exciting action combat.
Not the most gripping.
It's like, yeah, you can do some. It's very basic combos that you can do. I don't know how the rogue plays. But
I'm going to be honest. This
warrior,
sounds like standard Dragon Age.
It's very
Kind of is, yeah.
yeah. It's just it's a little lack, or it doesn't feel impactful. I would say.
Let me put it this way, John. The only combat I've ever had to really think about playing Dragon Age was Origins. Since then,
Yeah,
strategy was always you can. You don't have to.
It was one of those where I watched a bunch of videos on
Yeah,
it
yeah.
before I bought it, and I read a bunch of stuff, and I heard the combat was kind of. Which, let me put it this way: the combat feels a little lackluster to me. I'm still having a decent time.
The story and other contents keeping you going currently.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like I prefer like the combat just doesn't feel hard hitting until you use an ability. I would say.
I mean, that's true. As you continue to get like better weapons and stuff, like just the basic XY hitting.
So
Yeah,
It's like that's where I feel like that part doesn't feel impactful, and that feels like, at least at the point in the game I'm in, that's most of what you're doing.
yeah.
So, question is: the class is the usual warrior, mage, rogue.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, in terms of combat, I mean, it's obviously not the greatest action combat I've ever played, but I'm having fun with it. I'm having fun zipping around, dodging, using, I've currently got 2 abilities. The skill tree's pretty in depth. I can probably go get a 3rd ability at this point. I forgot
be able to.
I forgot to go look at it, honestly. The ultimate, you get your ultimate ability, as like certain, the enemies get stunned for me. I can go do like a finishing blow. Those have been really cool. Being like an assassin type character, how it looks for me. I imagine how it's going to look for you looks cool too.
I was gonna say, like, you talking about the takedowns?
Yeah, like the right stick takedown.
I barely get to do them because by the time I fill up the bar to be able to do it,
Everything's dead.
Maybe you should just go try a different class. Just go try Rogue. And Rogue's a lot of. Or I'm surprised you didn't go Mage. That feels more up your alley.
Okay. Well, here's the thing: with the abilities that you get in the game, Warrior is kind of like a mage.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You're the first, Warrior. The first thing you get is a big drop kick.
Yeah.
I've got an ability where I call down spears that set people on fire, and I plan on going the more necromantic warrior route.
That'd be pretty cool.
So it's like I'm enjoying the game. That's why I was asking, does the combat get where it feels more impactful? Because
I think so.
So as you stand, he's further than you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's definitely further than me.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm, going through boss fights so far. It's not that difficult. As I've gotten more skills, and then like my allies have gotten more skills where I can combo the allies' abilities together, which I think that's really cool. I don't know if that was a normal Dragon Age thing. I'm not. Even though I adore Mass Effect, I never, for whatever dumb reason, never got into Dragon Age.
This is your first Dragon Age?
It's not my first, but it might be the first I beat.
This is your first Dragon Age?
I've dabbled in previous Dragon
I've
Ages,
dabbled.
but
Yes,
haven't played.
and yes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. No, I mean, like the ability combos are cool. Once you unlock those, like pairing up stuff that like Lucanus and I had Nev with me, so stuff they can do together, or like Nev and Bellera, or like
Belair?
Bellera.
Belair?
Era.
There better be a Will Smith mod.
As well as Harding. I mean, like the combos have been really cool. Harding gets a little power up, so she gets some cool shit too. So like, I mean, I've enjoyed the combat. I've had I do agree in the early stages, it definitely kind of like, all right, we're just doing these few things.
That's why I initiated with, does it get better?
It does. Like, especially when you just look at that skill tree. I mean, like, the amount of shit you can do, over time. It's like, I mean, I'm pumped for where the combat's going to go.
I'm questioning about this. This just sounds like a weird mashup of Dragon Age Alliance.
Could be.
Because that's all I hear is you just playing Marvel Alliance with Dragon Age skin.
I mean, it very well could be with how everything combos together. But yeah, it does get better. I am kind of in the same boat with you about the story element, though. It's not bad. This is not a game where you need a lot of context of previous games. I mean, I had context going into it to some extent. It's just, you see some familiar faces that I at least know of the character's existence. Like I know who Solus is. I know, Varric. I know Harding appeared in Inquisition. Like I'm aware of characters' existence and some general lore. I'm not as familiar where I may
this
not
stuff
get
is
everything.
taking place after Inquisition timeline.
Correct.
Okay.
So I get the gist of things, but in terms of general story, I mean, there are elements about it that seem pretty interesting. Like, I just got Lucanus earlier, and I'm already very interested in him immediately. Like, he seems like such a cool character with this spite that he has, where it's like this little personal demon of himself that only he can see, but you as the player can obviously see it. But, all the characters around you, like your character and everyone, they can't actually see it and hear it. But he's just like an evil version of himself where, he's just trying to kind of take over Lucanus's body. And like the scene that I watched whenever I stopped playing earlier was when Lucanus joined you at the lighthouse. And, the spite was yelling at Lucanus, like, let me talk to them. I want to talk to Rook. Your character, and he kind of like went to go fuck Lucanus. He started getting like a nosebleed and stuff. So there's interesting elements where it's like I'm attached to certain aspects, like with the stuff with Solus and everything that he was trying to accomplish in the opening sequence and stuff. Like after that, Solus is essentially in your head. He's in your dreams. Like when you go to meditate, you and Solus can communicate with each other. As Solus is trapped in like this like gray void area that you accidentally trapped him in.
Good for him.
Yeah, basically. So you get to communicate with them, and I've enjoyed all of again in true BioWare fashion the choices. I've enjoyed little stuff like your first meeting with Solus in this void area. You can choose to be a little snarky with him, be a little asshole, and where Solus is commonly known, besides being the Dreadwolf, he's commonly known to be like the god of lies and treachery or whatever, right? And you can make a jab at that. He's like, how am I supposed to believe you? You are just a lie of, the god of lies, treachery, whatever. And then when you go talk to him again, he makes a comment about that. He's just like, well, I am the god of lies and treachery after all. So, you don't know if I'm telling the truth. And it pops up on your screen. Solus remembers the jab that you made at him, whatever. So, in true BioWare fashion, I'm enjoying that stuff.
I only speak aggressively or directly.
I like that. That's a fun way to play.
I will never choose. I would, because
So you're a brute.
I picked warrior, and I'm walking into a conversation. The first choice you get, you're in a bar, and it's like, do you want to try to talk to him, or do you want to just fight your way through it?
And you said fight,
and I'm like, oh yeah, we're fucking fighting. And
so in any conversation, you're sword first.
Yeah, sword first. Questions later.
It kind of all the choices get put on the wheel.
Yeah,
and the locations for like what type of choice it is always in the safe spot. So if there's ever one in the bottom left, which is like the aggressive fight option, I go there.
Yeah, that's where
if one does not go there, I am bottom right, which is just, we're not fucking around. We're not going to stand here and talk. We're going to move on.
Standard BioWare speech circle.
Yep. He is renegade for life up front.
I will say, like, because I'm like, I don't know, like I've played like 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
There's one character that I give a shit about right now, and that is I think that is Harding, and that is only because when you're first going in and you have to pick a companion to go with you.
Yep.
I picked Harding.
Okay.
And she got her ass kicked.
Oh yeah.
So she's Krillin?
She is the only character where I'm like, I have an attachment to because my decision directly impacted you.
Yeah. See, I brought Nev with me for that choice, and she got fucked up too.
So it's got to like, which character are you going to bring with you? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're coming with me. And now I'm like, I've learned though, I did one time I tried to pick a choice where it seemed like I was being nice to him. Mm-hmm. Never again.
X'd it out?
It was like, tried to comfort her. She got mad. I'm like, all right, fuck you then. Tough love it is.
I need to know though, for character customization, does it allow you to choose your race?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
You get 4 choices.
Yep.
Wait, who's the 4th?
You get
the
human.
horn race.
You get
The Iron Bull dude. What's his race? Starts with
I
a
know
Q.
who you're talking about.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the race starts with a Q.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck! I thought my rotation was finally done. Come back around. Okay. Because ever since Origins, I've played an elf. Then it would force me to be a human in 2. So I played a dwarf and Inquisition. And I was going to go back to elf, but now I got to play the horn thing.
Yeah, you got to play.
I'm
you gotta
playing
play
the
that
horn
one.
guy.
Yeah,
Fitting for a warrior.
that is fitting for a warrior. Yeah.
Fuck those guys.
Now let me ask you this because this can be very easily missed. Apparently, I definitely missed it. Did you do anything with your Inquisitor? Because you can do that. You can edit your Inquisitor.
You get an Inquisitor?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Why do you have an Inquisitor?
The Inquisitor appears in the game.
Like your Inquisitor?
Yes, if you have a save file, you can transfer your stuff over.
Shit.
Yeah. So
I hated my Inquisitor.
I mean, you don't have to transfer. You can just go customize it real quick.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no. So on the finalized screen for the character creator, it's literally just right there to the right, and I just flat out didn't see it. It has like Inquisitor, whatever, and you can hit Y to customize. So you can actually go through and customize the race literally the same way you make your character. You can customize them completely. I didn't. I just went in there and just because from a story element, I thought it'd be really interesting. All I did was female elf, romance Solus, and disbanded the Inquisition, and they're dedicated to trying to save Solus, not kill Solus. So that was what I went with because I feel like that could be an interesting storyline for this game. I feel like that'd be interesting. I think so.
Well, that's just complete. Because when I finished Inquisition, my dwarf, he was an asshole. He did not disband an Inquisition, and we were most definitely trying to kill Solus.
Yeah. Well, see, since I went with the lover's route for the Inquisition, I was just like, for the Inquisitor, I was just like, I feel like that'd be interesting for how this game is going to set up. So,
See, on the only one thing I'm not looking forward to is if me playing this, and I'll want to do another run in Inquisition again since it's been so long. I'll have to load up my Xbox One.
oof.
I mean, that's not too big of a deal. I mean, it's plugged in.
Yeah. I don't even know where my Xbox One is. I'm going to be honest with you.
Shoot, I know where all my consoles are.
I don't know where my PS4 is, and I don't know where my Xbox One is. They're around here somewhere.
I got so if you play a rogue, do you have like multiple weapons that you get to switch between?
Bow and dual swords.
Yeah, usually.
That sounds less interesting.
Yeah.
What, you got sword and spear?
I got a sword and shield, and then I got a big two-handed weapon. Which the starter two-handed weapon that you get is just fucking hilarious.
What is it?
It's a big wooden mallet that looks like you know, like a croquet mallet.
Yeah.
It looks like that. Just except like the head of it is just comically large,
That's funny.
and it
That
makes
makes me wanna go play a warrior.
makes a funny box sound.
So with
You very quickly get a two-handed axe that is significantly better.
so with combat, you're able to freely switch between the two weapons.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like in my case, for
Okay.
the dual swords and the bow, it's like dual swords is the very standard, the X, the Y, and everything, and
Yeah.
then you use right trigger to use the bow, and the arrows constantly like regenerate.
So the main difference is for, like, I assume it'd be similar for warrior, sword and shield. Sword and shield, you have a block, and if you perfect guard the block, you get a parry.
Okay.
If you have the two-handed, it's more of like a light block,
Gotcha.
and the two-handed is a much more like aggressive, high damage weapon.
Then what the hell does mages do?
That's a great question.
Don't know. I
I
haven't made one.
haven't looked into. I have no clue.
Do you just switch magic stances?
That's a great question.
Mage is one of the classes of mage, because I did read through. One class of mage is more about buffing or enhancing magic damage to weapons. So you probably have like a staff to cast with, and I assume you have like a sword.
So you have Mage Knight, strict rogue assassin-y stuff.
Yep.
Then Monk Mage.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I think mage has kind of like, they have their typical like elementalist mage.
Okay.
They have like the spell blade,
Okay.
and then I think they have some sort of like
Monk Mage.
necromancy type mage. No, the spell blade would be the monk mage. Okay. Warrior it has like, I want to fight with two-handed weapons. I want to fight sword and shield, or I want to be kind of magic-y.
I don't want to play a mage to find this out because I typically don't like mage class in Dragon Age.
It's kind of what I was thinking about. I was on the character creator. I was hovering over mage and about to go forward, and I was like, I kind of just want to bonk something.
I was about to say, the only time I had fun with Mage was Origins, just because if you played on higher difficulties, you had to care about friendly fire. So, I mean, you could literally just blow up everything on the map with Mage. And if you just run a squad of mages, you just kill everything for the most part.
But yeah, I'd say, like, at least in my experience right now, and granted, I'm a few hours into the game. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, expecting it to get better. That's why I asked.
Yep.
Combat, I'm expecting it to get like more interesting, especially when you kind of get into more enemies or more higher health enemies or complex fights. So far, everything has been super easy to fight.
Because you have high damage.
Yeah, I'm playing on one of the higher difficulties as well. So it's like I take a bunch of increased damage and everything, but it doesn't matter for the most part because the dodge and parry windows are very generous.
Really?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's very generous.
It is very generous. Yeah.
After because I've been playing like Dark Souls and Elden Ring and that is way more generous.
Oh, it'll probably.
This is a vacation for you then.
This will probably be generous for me since I've been farming Zenless and yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say the big plus side in the combat is all of the abilities feel very fun to use.
Sure. I mean, the two that I've got, I like a lot.
Because, like I said, I've got for Warrior, the first one you get, like I said, it's a big drop kick, comically funny against basic enemies.
Does it send them flying?
Oh yeah, drop kicked a bitch off a cliff.
Alrighty.
Then, like I said, I've got one where I just summon a bunch of spears down, where it's just like they rain down and then they put a burning debuff on the enemy. Really cool.
Yeah.
And then I've got one where I kind of just summon a bunch of shields around me, and if enemies hit me, they get knocked back and take some damage.
Right.
So very, very fun. I was kind of just picking stuff up to see, or picking abilities up to see how it is, because like you can respec at any time, place, however you want to, because on the skill tree you just select the node you want to go to. And if you want to take it off, you just select it again, and it deselects the ability, and you get the point back.
Yeah.
There's no cost to doing it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably can, like I said, can get my third ability by now. That's one of my worst personal traits about RPGs with skill trees. I always forget to go check the skill tree and use points. I'll go so long.
Why? Most RPGs literally put a giant sign saying, "Hey, you got
trust
points."
Trust me, I know, and I still forget to go do it.
This game when you level up, it puts a giant taking up the top half of your screen. Level up, go use your abilities.
Yep,
Yeah,
and I still forget to do it. I'm like this with every game with a skill tree.
Do you just close your eyes when you
Yes.
start seeing the level up last?
Yes, I try to play the game on hard mode. That's my way of playing on hard mode. Is
You
not
don't play
getting
hard
ability.
mode.
I know I don't. That's why this is my way to play hard mode. Is I don't get abilities.
I will say I don't know how the skill tree is for like rogue, but for warrior, it's kind of interesting because like one of the things that since you have a shield, you like one of your basic things is you can charge up and do a shield throw.
Okay.
Like Captain America.
Yep.
And
Nice.
there's a like towards the kind of necromantic type or like necrotic type mage warrior that I plan on trying out. There's points on the skill tree because I was just looking around where you can make the shield throw bounce multiple times and change it to necrotic damage.
Nice. That's actually really cool.
So it's like, yeah, there's just like points on the tree because, I mean, it's a fairly typical, or at least to me, a fairly typical skill tree where you have your starting area,
Yeah.
and then you have like, here's this section that leads to this one, here's this one that leads to this one, and it leads over here, and there's a bunch of small nodes along the way and then for each section you go to, there's like 2 or 3 like abilities that you get. And then everything else on that side kind of enhances how your basic attacks work for heavy or normal attacks. Or they augment a section that is like, they augment either the damage type or how the ability works. So like I said, in one section it starts adding bounces to the shield throw, and then it changes the damage type, and then like in another section of it, you gain a lot more like stagger damage and stuff like that.
Nice. I will say one thing about Dragon Age that I wanted to touch on is that I feel like all of the aggressive hate on the game is aggressively forced. Like there is so much hate.
People hating on it?
Oh my god, yeah. And I feel like the hate is so forced. I really do.
Kind of why I bought the game. I was curious.
Yeah, just to
So
see for yourself.
so what's the hate articles and comments?
People are aggressively mad about some of the like inclusion in the game.
Inclusivity, stuff like that.
You're able to make like in character creation. You can make your character trans. You can give them whatever pronouns you want to, or you can give them he, him, she, her, or they, them pronouns.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of anger about that out there.
Yep. People hate the dialogue of the game.
The dialogue's kind of cringe.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say is it's kind of cringe. People, people don't like the combat. People think the combat sucks. There's a lot of elements to this that with all the hatred that I think is really forced. Personally,
and my opinions on those, at least the point I'm at in the game, the dialogue could be significantly better.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's bad. There's just it's whatever.
It doesn't actually bother me, but I'm also that guy that I personally like.
It doesn't
enjoy the Forspoken dialogue, for example.
Well,
it doesn't bother me.
It doesn't necessarily bother me, but it is like there will be times where I'm sitting there listening to it. I'm like, come on, man, we could be a little creative.
I mean, this sounds like the Andromeda dialogue.
Honestly, that's about on par.
And then like combat, like I said, I'm early on in the game. I very much expect the combat to get more fluid or more free to use your abilities constantly when you want to. Because like right now, I have to build up. I walk into an area, I got to spend the first half of running through the zone building up to be able to unleash all my abilities. I expect that to get more fluid as I get more points and level up.
Yeah.
Just naturally, that would be better.
Right.
The combat itself, I wouldn't from what I've seen, I wouldn't call it anything special, but it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
It's
I enjoy it personally. I'm having fun. It's like a solid 8 out of 10 combat for me at this point.
I would call it like it would be a solid basic action combat system.
Yeah,
that has that makes the abilities feel powerful, which is a plus because when you have a game where it's like based around the like using your abilities sparingly, if you're gonna do that, make them feel impactful, and they do.
Yeah.
So that's a plus for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of here's the weird thing. There's a lot of like hate going around. Like you see a lot of the hate rise up with the game. You go look at the reviews, like player reviews. This game's rated mostly positive by like 76% on
I was about to
Steam.
say, I was going to say, because wasn't this the one that people who got early access were saying this is the BioWare game we've been waiting for?
Yeah, this is the BioWare return.
It kind of flips back and forth because it's like you get those. Because the weird thing is like, or this is a sticking point with me. IGN gave this a 9 out of 10. This is not a 9 out of 10 game.
As of now, I'd say no. I mean, as of now, I think it has the potential to be a solid 8. I mean, I'll open my brain to that. It can be a solid 8 for sure. I'm having fun.
Yeah,
It's a fun
well,
game.
that's the thing. It's like I'm not hating on the game by saying that, but this is not in contention as one of the best games of the year.
It's not nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
I feel you.
It's
a good game though.
I would say like if it continues improving how I expect it to improve as I play more, I expect this to be a solid game, like a solid game that came out this year.
Absolutely.
It's not one of the best games that came out this year, but it is a solid, like, this is a good game.
Yeah.
Do you think it will be in the RPG of the Year award
Yes.
category?
There's not a lot of competition for that this year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I would say it's going to be in there for sure. Game of the Year nomination. Well, I would say no. We're going to give our official predictions on that here in the next couple of weeks. But
With what's come out this year, no.
yeah, it's kind of tough. I mean, you've had some bangers here at the end of this year. So that's kind of tough.
But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I'm gonna keep playing the game.
Yeah.
I ended up picking it up because I was curious from like watching videos, seeing a lot of the negative comments about it. But I was reading a lot of like reviews from like Steam and other platforms to see what people who I also wasn't looking at reviews that had like an hour. I was specifically looking for people who had played it for like
20 or more.
Yeah, like the highest player like played time I could find.
Yeah.
And everybody who's played it like more than like 5 hours typically has like a positive review. They'll list out the stuff they didn't like about it.
Yeah.
But pretty much everybody's got who actually plays a decent amount of it has a good experience with it.
That's why I feel like the hate for the game is just so forced.
I don't. That's why, like I said, I bought it because of that.
Yeah.
I don't see where it's coming from.
Yeah, I really don't. Like inclusivity is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, right? The combat, it's not bad, and it gets better. The dialogue, I mean, that's I guess, everyone has their own kind of preference on stuff. Again, I didn't mind the for spoken dialogue, for example, and that's considered one of the most cringiest dialogues out there. And I can definitely see it. I'm not going to argue that it has cringe elements. It's just, it doesn't really bother me. So like, a little bit of like the cringe stuff with this dialogue, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's like, there's elements about it. I genuinely feel like the hate for this game is so incredibly forced. I don't know why. I really don't. It's baffling to me. I will say it does feel like, I'm not going to say BioWare's return to like true form. I'm not going to say that yet, but BioWare is on the right path. Because if they were returned to true form, this game would be like a 90 plus on Metacritic, an absolute banger, right? Like that would be true form to me, right? But I mean, it's a very good game. I mean, in terms of Dragon Age games, it's now like tied for the highest. I think it came in at like an 84. I think that's what Inquisition came at, which was the highest. So, I mean, that's good. Shout out to that. I mean, BioWare put out a new good game. They had the Legendary Edition, remake, cool. Anthem, bomb. Andromeda, bomb. So it's like they put out a new good game. So that's good. That's what we need. So I'm happy for that. I do feel like
BioWare did Anthem?
Yeah. Unfortunately. We try not to think about that.
I completely erased that from my mind. I was thinking someone else did Anthem.
I'm sorry that I reminded you. Yeah. You know what's sad? They still have it up on their BioWare store. There's a section for Anthem on there.
But it's dead. Servers are dead.
I know, but on their BioWare store, you can still go and buy Anthem merch. Yeah. Just give up on the property, bud.
Yeah. One thing I think is going to happen with like Dragon Age: The Veilguard is it's got all this weird like publicity it's getting right now. This game is going to just kind of sit there for a while.
Yeah.
And then like all the negativity around it is just going to like slowly go away. And you come back to it and look, and it's all going to just be positive.
It's going to be similar to the Inquisition. People are going to come back and be like, this is better than I remember it being.
Yeah. No, same thing's probably going to happen here. I'm having fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to actually getting to sit down and actively play for multiple hours and not getting interrupted.
Well, I should hopefully be joining y'all soon because I'm on the last fight of Anthems. Or not Anthem. Metaphor.
Last fight of Anthem.
Metaphor.
But no, overall though, Dragon Age is fun. Looking forward to getting through the rest of it.
I'm going to keep playing it. It's like I said, enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't keep playing it if I wasn't having fun with it.
What faction did you pick?
He hasn't gone there yet.
No, that's character creator.
He hasn't gone there yet.
When I selected my character, it just gave me one, and I just picked whatever it gave.
So you're the Grey Wardens.
Sure.
Okay.
That would make sense why they said I was something. I had a choice, I think, with a mayor of the town.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed that mission a lot. That mission is something that hooked me for the game.
You got demon blood in you.
That explains the necromancy stuff then.
Hey, what did you choose with the mayor?
Oh, I left him there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I left the mayor. I left him there.
There's a mayor in a town who does some pretty fucked up shit, and you get the choice of I had the choice of essentially like set him free, give him to the Grey Wardens, or leave him there to die.
I left him there to die.
You should have given him the Grey Wardens. Would have been far worse for him.
Yeah, but leave him to die was in my bottom right.
Yeah.
Okay.
My it's time to move on. Some people didn't like that I did that. But
yeah, no, they're not a fan of leaving him to die. So I chose leave him to die, and then out of curiosity, I looked up if that would have major consequences or not. It doesn't. But if you actually leave him to die, you actually get a small side quest you wouldn't have got otherwise, where you can actually kind of get a look at like the indoctrination that the elven gods can do, And like that whole thing, that whole mission, I was just like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we're back to form with BioWare indoctrination. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Did we mention that earlier,
No.
Zach?
No, we didn't
So
touch
when-
a lot of story stuff.
So, it's the guy's name's Solus.
Solus, yes.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of the game, he's performing a ritual.
Yeah.
And when we disrupt the ritual and he gets put into his little jail
Yeah,
type
little
area,
void jail.
he releases. It's like multiple elven gods get released.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the goal is to, at least I don't know what the overarching goal for everyone else is. My goal is to hunt them down and kill them.
Yep.
I mean, that sounds standard
And stop the blight.
based on lore. Yeah.
Yeah,
Elven
yeah.
gods aren't very much appreciated by anybody.
Yeah.
So that's the game.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Hunt down
Hump
the
gods
elven
and-
gods and kill them.
Yep. And stop the blight from taking over
That
the
is
world.
a secondary objective.
It's still the objective.
What's your primary?
Kill the elven gods. That's my character's primary objective.
Okay.
Everybody else is talking about the blight, and my character's like, he's like, yeah, you guys want to stop and do research about this. We know that there is trouble that way.
What is your character's int at? Does it have stats? Does this one have stats?
Does it have stats like that?
I think so. I'd have to go back and look. I think so. I haven't looked. I'll be honest. I'm just playing. I'm just going.
There's not like a stat sheet like when you level up.
Oh
you
no,
don't-
I mean
yeah.
that's not a major thing in Dragon Age
I
since the
didn't know
first
if it
one.
was.
So
I didn't know if that was. I don't know, but I pick the options that make me sound like, hey, something. It's like we know something is there. Fuck looking shit up. We're going to where we know there's a problem.
okay.
That's how I'm playing my
I'm gonna
guy.
be honest. This one may not have those stats because I mean those stats haven't been really important in a Dragon Age game in forever. So you may not have those.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Also, I don't know how important some of them. Like for the most part, a lot of the dialogue options, I don't feel like they have a big impact.
A lot of time.
So far, it's a lot of fun in
There's certain times where you're like, where you make a choice, you go, okay, yeah, this is my actual choice option.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes it's just a conversation is happening, you can reply to it this way. The same thing's gonna happen.
Yep.
That's
It's
standard
just-
for Dragon Age. I mean, you usually have pivotal choices that they're the only ones that really matter.
Yep.
And everything else is just like small minor things that
Yeah.
will probably affect you in like the near future in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
Which is why I decided to play my guy like in this straightforward way, because I'm like, man, it makes it a little more fun.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like in Dragon Age, a lot of the choices is very much the original Dragon Age is very much like, are you going to have side with this faction or this faction? So they join you in your fight against the spawn, and then the main thing is just they show up at your camp and their units join you in the final fight, and then you don't see the ramifications of that until Dragon Age 2, with some of the events you'll see with a carryover file.
Yeah. Which that's trademark BioWare actions.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause it's the same thing with like the Mass Effect, trilogy where you can make choices in the first game that have really no major impact in 2, but has a big impact in 3.
Hey,
Then
some
you
of
make
us
choices
are
in 2, and they don't matter at all in Inquisition.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some of us are in 2020, like nearing the end of 2024, and we're just now playing BioWare games.
Sorry. No, there's definitely going to be some choices that matter. I would very safely assume it. And look,
Well,
as long as it's not as bad as Andromeda, where I feel like almost every choice I made, I would never make a second choice. As long as it actually makes me question my choices, I'm good. Because Andromeda, like the choices didn't feel impactful.
There's only one choice I think in Andromeda was like, okay, maybe I'll go back.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like I would probably repeat the exact same playthrough. Like it didn't feel like any of the choices were actually like made me actually think.
The only thing Andromeda's was a rough game. The only thing I enjoyed was the combat. 'Cause
Combat. So I actually touched back on Andromeda recently.
Sorry, John, Mass Effect time.
I actually got on Andromeda recently, and dude, the combat's so good.
And the combat's
oh my
fun.
god! But then like I get into like talking to all the characters, and I'm
Then
like,
you regret it.
oh man, this sucks.
I look forward to someone like watching this, and it's like, okay, they're talking about Dragon Age, and then skip forward to the combat's so good.
And Mass Effect Andromeda,
Yeah, sorry.
in which I played it on the hardest difficulty on Insanity. So I mean, I got to enjoy the combat for much longer spans of time.
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
And the damn worm fights literally were hour fights, every single one.
Yeah, fuck those things, dude.
So whenever I died, I'd just fucking hit my head against my desk and go, fuck.
Anyway, back to Dragon Age.
What difficulty are you playing on, by the way?
It's like the whatever the middle difficulty is. I'm
The
just
standard?
Here, yeah, I'm just here to have a good time.
What, are you on hard?
I don't know. They have like 7 options.
Yes.
It starts at like
Storybook. and then
it's
there's,
like
keeper.
storybook where it's like
You're here for the story. You don't care about the fighting.
and then like every time you go up in difficulty, it basically just increases the amount of damage you take and increases the stats of the enemies.
Yeah.
I'm on not the furthest one, but like a step down from that.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm
Just
just
because
like in the middle.
just
of
because
the
I heard it was like kind of easy combat, so I was like, I'll just make it increase.
So
Difficulty.
some of your in-game fights may be entertaining then.
Yeah, true. No.
Yeah. It's one of those it's when I learned that the dodge window and parry windows were pretty generous is because I kind of walked in and didn't quite understand. There's no real, like, if you're hitting an enemy, they start up an attack. But you can hit them with whatever you want to. There's not really interrupting it.
Okay.
So I get smacked around, and yeah, you definitely take a lot of damage when you play on the much higher difficulties. So you get hit, and
Are you able to just dodge cancel out of your attack animations or block parry?
if you're in attacks, you can dodge out of them.
Cool.
Yeah. There is dodge canceling,
Yep.
or like attack canceling with dodges and that, because that sometimes I've been going for charge attacks, realize I'm about to get smacked around by a few guys, and just dodge out of the way.
Okay, that's
It is nice that you can cancel out of.
I
them.
just need to know that for any action combat oriented, because if you can't dodge cancel, it makes combat a
Yeah,
bit more.
if you're
pain in the
animation
ass.
locked, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
That's part of why I didn't play a mage. I didn't know if you could do it.
Yeah. Well, now you know. Now you know. No.
Animation lock is a whole nother difficulty.
Facts. But no, very, very fun so far. Looking forward to getting further into it and getting the rest of my companions. I think I've got like 3 more to get, based on the companion select screen. So look forward to that. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Same here. Looking forward to playing more. See if I actually end up beating this game.
There you go.